Okay, so today we're going to start from a standing position at the front of your mat. So make your way to the front of your mat or your space, and then first of all, find your feet hip distance apart. So find where your hips are, straight down your leg, there at your feet, and let's spread out those toes. So grounding down those toes, spreading them out. Find your weight distributed evenly in between the two corners of the edges of the front of your feet, the balls of your feet and your heels. So you're really grounding down and settling in. And let's now lift up through the knees, lift up the spine, feel the pull up through the top of your head so you're standing really tall, relaxing your shoulder blades down. Let's all inhale through your belly, spread out your belly, inhale. And now exhale, drop your chin into your chest and follow that head down, heavy into a forwards fold, bending your knees a little bit. So really relaxing over into this forwards fold. You can cup opposite elbow, have a little bit of a sway. And find your breath, filling your belly and exhaling, relaxing, sinking deeper into your joints, into your posture. Already starting to exhale and let go of any tensions that you've had throughout your day or yesterday or any time in your week. So just finding that breath, grounding down into your feet and finding that exhale to release. And then release those hands if they're on your elbows and bring your left hand into the center of your chest on the floor. Bend your left knee, lift up your right arm to the sky, lengthening the right leg into a twisted forwards fold. Taking those deep breaths into the belly, you can add any rocks, any sways that feel good. And if you can't reach all the way down, come up and maybe you want to rest your arm on your knee that's bent. And let's move to the other side. So right knee bent, right hand down, left raised, twisting in your upper back. You can even bring that arm onto that bent knee. Good, let's come back to center. See if you can lengthen your knees a little bit. Lift up your arms and start to roll those wrists out. So circling the wrists by lengthening your back up a little bit, giving space to your body. And circle them the other direction. Maybe you want to wiggle those fingers at the same time. Good, bring your hands towards the ground. Inhale, half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant those hands down, step it back to high plank. Weight in between the thumb and the first finger. Draw the spine long into plank and then elbows in close chaturanga. Inhale, upwards facing dog. Exhale, plant the knees down. Sit onto the heels, child's pose, spreading the spine out long, arms reaching out away from you. Find that breath again. Find the grounding, the contact between you and the floor. And then roll on up to your hands and your knees, making sure your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders and knees are underneath your hips. We're going to take a cat-cow. So inhale, chest forward, tailbone up. Exhale, curve it up, press away from the ground. Inhale, filling the belly. Exhale, curve on up. Inhale, reach it forwards. Exhale, curve on up. Inhale, reach it forwards one last time. Head far away from those hip bones. Exhale, pull up, curve into the spine. Good. Coming into a neutral spine, let's lengthen out the right leg. Lifting up the right arm towards the sky. Exhale, thread the needle, bring the hand through the space between the left hand and the knee. Bring the shoulder blade as close to the ground as you can. If you're there, you can release the supporting arm, bring it around your back. So we're taking this with an extended leg. Deep breaths. And bring the supporting arm back to the floor if it's not already. Lift up, untwist, reach back to the sky. Exhale, plant that hand down, bring that leg in and repeat on the other side. So lengthening out the left leg, left arm to the sky. Inhale, feel your belly rise up. Exhale, thread it through, shoulder blade coming down to the ground. Exhale, let it go, deep breaths. Find your pose. Finding whatever pose works for you, whatever makes you feel like you're letting go of tension, you're relaxing down. Good, alright. Bring that supporting arm back down if it's not already. Untwist, reach the sky one last time. Exhale, bring the hand down, leg coming in, tuck your toes. We're going to reach on up, downwards facing dog with bent knees. Spread out the fingertips, spread out the toes. Trying to ground down those heels, lengthen the spine. Good, alright. Rolling forwards, coming into your high plank. So weight in that thumb and first finger, drawing your pelvis down, spine long. One breath here, inhale. Exhale, downwards facing dog. Maybe you want to lengthen your legs. Inhale, we're moving back forwards, high plank, taking a few of these rolls, making sure each time to bring that pelvis down into line. And then rocking it back. Finding the flow that feels good. Feels a little bit strong, but you're enjoying that strength. Moving slowly. One last time, rock it forwards. Pause here for a few breaths, high plank. And rock it back, good, downwards facing dog. So we're going to lift up the left leg towards the sky, bend the knee. Start to circle the knee joint to release that hip. As little or as big as you want to circle that hip joint. But trying to move at a steady, slow pace to really feel all of that joint. Now let's take three-legged dog with a bent knee and open hips. So you're lifting the left leg to the sky, bending the knee and twisting the hips out and open. Try and keep both shoulder blades parallel to the floor. We're not twisting to look underneath just yet. Now scoop on forwards, bring that knee in towards the chest, bring the weight onto the left hand, turn the right foot out and step the left foot far in front of you into an extended side plank, so a star side plank. Deep breath. Right arm's up towards the sky, maybe you want to look up at it. And let's come on back to three-legged dog, so scooping back in, lifting that left leg back towards the sky, and then planting it down. We'll repeat with the right leg, so right leg lifted, knee bent, circling the knee in the air, moving into that hip joint. Deep breaths. We'll be off the hands after this round. So let's take that open leg, three-legged dog. twisting the hips but keeping the shoulder blades down, lengthening away from those hands. Alright, so we're coming into that extended side plank. So coming forwards, knee into the chest, turning the foot to the inside, that left foot. Right foot reaches out onto the ground. Top arm lifted. Take a few breaths here. Maybe you want to look up at that top hand. And bring both hands down, step it back, three-legged dog. Plant the foot down, find your high plank. We're taking a flow, so elbows in, chaturanga. Inhale, upwards facing dog. Rock it back, exhale, downwards facing dog. And looking forwards, walk or step to the front of your mat. Feet hip distance apart. Release those hands back into your forwards fold, cupping your elbows, taking a sway. When you're ready, release those elbows, extend your spine, come all the way up to standing. Good. Take a breather if it made you a little bit dizzy. And then clasp your hands behind your back, press your palms together, open out your chest. So we've done a lot. Rolling forwards towards the ground, so let's lift the heart to the sky, open the back, spread out those toes and ground down. So release that and bring your feet together at the front of your mat. And let's step back with the right leg. Bending into the front left leg, opening the hips out. Make sure the front knee is above or a little bit behind the ankle. And find your warrior two, lifting up your belly, lifting these thighs inside by engaging your glutes at the back to find that long spine and the space to breathe in your belly. Let go of holding your belly. Okay, we're going to take reverse warrior. Arm down the back, lengthen the leg, reach up and out of the hips. Deep breath. Filling that belly with air. Good, alright, coming back to warrior two. Let's turn towards the front of the mat. Step the back foot a little bit wider. Finding your warrior one. Good, alright, tuck the back toes underneath and the right arm reaches forwards to the ground beside the front foot. Twisting and opening to the left side, left arm in the sky, twisted high lunge. Deep breaths. Easing out tension, relaxing down. Alright, bring both hands down towards the ground, drop the back knee down and tuck the toes. Staying here or lifting the body up, arms coming together, palms together overhead, low lunge. Pressing and easing down to those hips. Good, bring those hands down beside the front foot. Lengthen the front leg, reach the hips back evenly into this half split pose. Maybe you want to come down lower. Deep breaths. Trying to engage the lengthened leg knee a little bit. So we're not just sitting down in that joint, we're keeping it safe, keeping it a little bit lifted, maybe bent a little bit. Alright, bending forwards, weight into the front foot, press the hands down, see if you can step back to the front of your mat and lengthen up. And we're going to repeat all that on the other side, so a deep breath in, mountain pose here. And then we're stepping back with the left leg, Bending into the right front foot, finding that knee above the ankle or a little bit behind, wrapping those thighs underneath at the back, arms lengthened, release your belly. Every time you breathe, feel your belly expand, and maybe you can feel your whole body stretching out, arms reaching away from each other. Let's find reverse warrior, arms lengthening up and out over the back leg, up over those hips. You can still bend deeply into that front knee. Alright, coming back to warrior two. Step a little bit out and hips facing the front of your mat. Warrior one, arms above. Deep breaths, spread out your toes. See if you can breathe out any impatience that might be rising up. And invite in any slower, steadier, relaxing feelings. By accepting the feelings that you have and then letting them carry on passing through. Alright, tucking the back toes underneath, left hand coming beside the front, right foot, right arm in the sky, twisting and opening. Really finding that breath. Alright, both hands down beside the front foot, tuck the back knee down, untuck the toes, lift up if you want to into that low lunge, releasing those hips. Let go of any tension in your jaw and your toes. Deep breaths. Alright, plant both hands down beside the front foot, lengthen the front leg, reach the hips back, and maybe come down low, bringing the palms facing upwards into this half split pose. Again, remembering to engage that knee a little bit, lift it up a little bit, keep it safe. Alright, bending back into the front foot, maybe shuffle it a little bit back if you're close to the front of your mat, and then see if you can step the feet together into forwards fold, then lengthen the spine and come all the way up. Good, take a moment to have a breather in mountain pose, settling down even deeper. And then we're going to flow back to the ground, so inhale, lift up, look up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back, high plank, lowering down. Inhale, upwards facing dog. Exhale, downwards facing dog. And then we're making sure that our hands are shoulder distance apart. And then see if you can drop those elbows down into dolphin pose. You can walk them a little bit closer together if you want those elbows. And bring the palms one on top of each other or hold them in fists. But bring those elbows down no further than shoulder distance apart. Lengthening out that spine. Deep breaths. Settle into the hard work. Finding that mindfulness and choosing to let go of all those thoughts. When is this going to end? How hard is this? Just feeling that hard work in your body and knowing it will end, knowing it'll pass, knowing you can come down whenever you want to. And just letting go of those thoughts. Good. So coming down into those knees. And tuck the toes and sit back for a moment. So for this next part, I'm going to give you a little bit of creative freedom to end your day or end towards this practice whenever you are practicing. So the first option would be to repeat that dolphin pose. Working on this. The second option would be to practice a little crow pose. So coming onto your hands, bringing that weight into the thumb and the first finger, bending the knees towards the armpits or above the elbows on the outside or directly on those arms, shuffling the weight over those hands and then picking up one foot, testing that out, picking up another foot, bringing both feet off, toes together, lifting them towards you, maybe lifting up the elbows a little bit, so lessening the bend, lengthening the arms. So working on this, a little bit of play. Or if you want to, having a little play with a headstand, starting with the wall and then moving to the center, however you have practiced it before. So I'll just walk you through it a little bit. So coming close to a wall, measuring out the distance by putting your elbows down, measuring your hands to your elbows, hands back forwards, clasp those hands together, plant all of that down, bring the back of your head into the hands, coming up onto the top of your head, lifting up one leg at a time, just playing with this. So you can just be in this position on your head in a downwards dog position to start, and then see if you can, without jumping, really reach back for a wall. Finding your balance here, lifting up your belly button, and then one by one reaching those legs towards the sky. Coming down gently without jumping, and then for all those positions, finding a child's pose for whatever you've practiced. So let's all start that or have another few goes if you've already started your variation. And let's try it all together. So if you're in the center, carry on demonstrating to headstand, finding that pose with your hands, coming up onto your feet, and then jumping a little bit to find those legs curled in and then lift them to the sky. Everywhere you are, remember to breathe. And wherever you are, let's all come down and find your child's pose. So release those feet, bring those hands forwards, drop the forehead down, settling down into child's pose. And come back up to sit on those feet. So we're reaching those hands forwards, coming up into a downwards facing dog. Walking those feet forwards towards the hands, and then walk the feet a little bit wider, open out the toes to the sides and bend down, watching to make sure the knees are in the same angle as the feet. If they're not, move the feet so that they're perfectly in line. Sitting on down into your Malasana squat pose. So we're down as low as you can, as low as feels good for you to sink down into those hips and let go if you can come all the way down. Lift your spine up a little bit, hands maybe coming to prayer position, elbows into the creases of the knees to spread them out a little bit more. Just take a few breaths wherever you are. Again, like I say, wherever you are, we're going to extend the right arm, lifting the left towards the sky. So even if you're higher up, this works too. Maybe you want to rest the arm on the leg, lifting it up. Maybe if you're low down, you want to bind those arms around the back and clasp opposite hand with each other. Few breaths here. Maybe it's a bit harder work if you're higher up. Keep breathing through it. Or let it go and come back to center. Your call. One more breath and we'll all come back through center. And move to the other side. So we're twisting to look up at the sky. Good. Alright, release back to center. Turn the toes in a little bit, lengthen up those hips. Rise on up to a standing position and we're going to flow right back down to the floor. So take one little breather. Last time you're going to be standing. And let's lift those arms up. Last vinyasa flow. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant those hands down, step it back, high plank, lower it down. Inhale, upwards facing dog. Exhale, downwards facing dog. And we're coming through to your knees to sit back and extend those legs. We're going to roll right on down, lying flat on the ground. Remove anything that's a bit annoying, like a hair tie, anything on your head. And extend the feet towards the sky. So if you want a more restorative posture, you can just stay here, relaxing your spine down. Or you can bend those knees in, lifting your hips off, hands finding that lower back, lengthening the legs off into a shoulder stand. Taking a few breaths here. Really moving around all those toxins that we're releasing through movement, through exercise, and heat out of the feet. Helping with gravity to move them out so we can release. Let's bend those knees towards our head. Lengthen the feet out way towards the ground beyond our head. If your feet are floating, keep holding on to your back. Don't move your head to look at me, just hear my voice. But if your feet are touching the floor and you feel quite comfortable and safe, you can release your hands along your mat. Clasp your hands together if that feels good. Plow pose. Keep breathing. Alright, release those hands and roll down to the ground, one vertebrae at a time. Bending those knees, bringing the feet flat onto the floor. So you can either take bridge pose, just lifting those hips off, or you can lift them off, then bring your hands facing down under your seat bones. So sit back down onto those hands, extend the legs, come up onto the elbows. And then lift the chest up, drop the head back into fish pose, Matsyasana. Lifting up that chest, dropping back the head until the crown of the head meets the floor. Keep breathing. Good, one more breath. Lengthen the head away, slide down, bring the knees back in, plant the feet, lift the hips to release those hands. And we're moving into a cross-legged spine twist, so arms in a T shape, right thigh over left, bending both knees, extend, let them drop to the left side, looking over right shoulder if that feels good for you. Deep breaths, let everything go. Last few poses here. Let's come back through center, uncross the right, cross over the left, bend both knees, let the legs fall to the right side, looking over left shoulder. And it's alright if that shoulder lifts off a little bit. Just make sure you're rolling your weight of the top half over to that left side so you can feel the twist. And feel that release in your belly as you breathe. And let's come back through center, uncross those legs, lift the feet to the sky, moving into happy baby, final full working pose. So hands coming towards the ankles, the outsides of the feet, even the shins, the toes, so the big toes are like I like to do over the balls of my feet, over the soles, flat palm, bending the knees and drawing those knees down and out to the sides of your body towards the floor. Maybe you want to tuck your chin a little bit, lengthen your neck. Maybe you want a little rock side to side, releasing into those hips for the last final stretch. Deep breath. Then release those feet, lengthen the legs along your mat or your space, hip distance apart or a little bit further. Relax your feet out, palms facing up on the floor. Give some space to your side body. Again, if you want to tuck your chin a little bit, lengthen your neck, feel free. Taking Shavasana. Let's all take a deep breath into our bellies. And exhale, let everything go, relax your joints, feel the support of the floor. Keep breathing like this on your own, for yourself. Inhaling your belly, filling your body up with space, freedom. Exhaling, letting that relaxation release all your joints down. Can you find any areas in your body, like your jaw maybe, where you're holding any extra tension? And see if you can feel that and see if you actually need it. Can you let it go? Can you see what it's like to let it go? And can you feel the floor rise up to meet you, to hold you? And can you let yourself relax even deeper into it? Good. Now feel free to pause the video and continue your Shavasana as long as you want, or just make your way to sleep. Or we'll wiggle our fingers and toes, move our hands and feet. Bring your knees into your chest and roll over onto the right side of your body. Bring your top hand down, extend your top leg, come on up to a comfortable cross-legged position. And just take a moment to find your way back into your room, your space, your body. Having any extra little movements that you feel like you might need, take a look around. Have a look at the colours, shapes, shades in your area. Feel your sit bones, your legs press into the ground. Maybe you want to touch it with your hands. Let's bring the hands onto your belly. Feel the breath there. Bring your hands onto your heart center. Maybe you feel a bit of heat. And finally, bring one hand onto your forehead and one hand to the top or the back of your head. And feel the size of your head, where that brain is with all those thoughts, all contained in this little head. Move your hands onto the sides of your head. And swap around, other hand on your forehead, other hand on the back of your head. Just really centering and, coming back to what your head really is, to what your thoughts make it out to be. It's just this little head. And let's bring those hands into heart center prayer position. So, thank you for joining in this class today. Hope that you enjoyed it, you're feeling grounded, centered, relaxed, or you're addressing anything that's resonant for you, allowing that and accepting it to be. And I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again next time.